The moment the cockpit doors slammed shut, every passenger understood that this flight would not land the way it was supposed to dot at 30,000 feet. Fear has nowhere to run. It sits beside you. It tightens your chest. It waits. Asterisk. What city are you watching from today? If this story resonated with you, hit subscribe for more real stories about extraordinary people. Most people never notice the young flight attendant in seat jump position near the rear galley. She looked like any other crew member. Calm posture. Soft voice. Neutral expression. No one knew that she had memorized the aircraft systems years before she ever learned how to smile at passengers. Her name was Captain Mara Ilyas. But on that flight, she was officially listed as cabin crew. The route was ordinary. A commercial jet crossing a quiet stretch of ocean before sunrise. Families slept. Business travelers typed last emails. The cockpit crew followed routine. Everything was normal until it was not. The first scream came from the forward aisle. Then the shouting. Then the unmistakable command to sit down and stay quiet. Two men moved fast toward the cockpit. Their confidence suggested rehearsal. Their certainty suggested experience. They knew where to go. They knew how to scare. And they believed the plane already belonged to them. The cockpit door opened under threat. The pilots were forced back. Control was taken. The aircraft changed direction by a few degrees, just enough for trained eyes to notice. Mara noticed. She felt it through the floor, through the pressure shift, through instinct that never shuts off once it is trained into bone. She did not panic. She did not freeze. She closed her eyes for a brief moment and counted the systems in her head. Fuel load, altitude, weather patterns. The flight manual she had studied as a military aviator returned to her without effort. Passengers saw only a flight attendant who knelt to calm a crying child. They did not see the fighter pilot who had flown combat missions through sandstorms and tracer fire. They did not see the woman who had landed damaged, aircraft with one engine burning and no margin for error. Mara moved quietly toward the cockpit area, not to confront, but to observe. Every step was measured. Every breath was controlled. Inside the cockpit, the hijackers argued with each other. One demanded altitude. The other demanded speed. Neither truly understood the machine they were trying to dominate. That misunderstanding would save lives. Mara spoke to the lead hijacker with a steady voice. She offered water. She offered cooperation. She offered help. He laughed at her. He called her a waitress. He told her to stay in her place. She nodded and stepped back, exactly as expected. Minutes passed. The plane began to drift off course more dramatically. Warning lights blinked. The hijackers shouted at the instruments like men yelling at a storm. One of the pilots, hands bound, met Mara's eyes. He saw something there that steadied him. Recognition, trust. A silent question. She answered with the smallest nod. When turbulence hit. Real turbulence, the kind that throws unprepared hands off controls. The hijackers lost rhythm. The aircraft dipped. Passengers screamed. Oxygen masks threatened to deploy. Mara moved. She did not rush. She did not shout. She stepped into the cockpit like she belonged there, because she did. Her voice cut through the chaos. She spoke with authority that could not be faked. You are going to crash this aircraft if you do not stabilize your pitch. The hijacker turned, startled not by her words, but by how she said them. He hesitated. That hesitation gave her everything. She took the control column with one decisive motion. Not aggressive. Not desperate. Correct. The aircraft responded immediately, like it had been waiting for competent hands. The second hijacker reached for her. She used leverage and timing, not strength. A sharp movement. A shift of balance. You went down hard, stunned and disarmed without spectacle. The first froze, watching the plane level itself under her control. Who are you? He demanded. Mara kept her eyes forward. She adjusted trim. She corrected heading. She stabilized speed. "I am the one keeping this plane in the air," she said. Security restrained the hijackers within minutes. The cockpit crew returned to their seats, hands shaking, eyes wide with disbelief and gratitude. The plane was safe, but the hardest part remained. Landing. Weather had shifted. Winds had strengthened. The nearest airport was small, coastal, and not designed for emergency arrivals of that size. Mara requested clearance with a voice so calm that controllers later said they trusted her instantly. She briefed the crew. She reassured passengers without revealing fear. As the runway came into view, the aircraft bucked against crosswinds. Any mistake would have torn the landing gear apart. Mara adjusted. She compensated. She flew the aircraft like a combat sortie, not against an enemy, but against physics and fear. The wheels touched down cleanly. Perfect alignment. Perfect timing. When the plane stopped, silence filled the cabin before applause broke like a wave. Passengers cried. Strangers hugged. Lives returned to themselves. Only after everyone was safe did Mara remove her name badge. Captain Ilias, United Defense Forces. Read the insignia beneath. She did not stay for interviews. She did not seek attention. She filed her report and walked away quietly, as she always had. One passenger would say the most terrifying part was not the hijacking. It was realizing how close they came to disaster without knowing it. And the most comforting part was learning that someone trained for the impossible had been on board the whole time. This story is not about hijackers. It is about humility, about how strength often hides in plain sight, about how the person you overlook may be the one holding everything together. The world does not announce its heroes. Sometimes they wear uniforms you do not recognize. Sometimes they serve coffee before they save lives. What did this story make you feel? Where are you watching from? Subscribe to Soul Relief Stories for more real stories that heal the heart.